before Lewis started winning, before Seb started winning, they were assholes. Like, anybody in the sport who's watched it for years were like, these two were dicks.
Welcome back to Push Push. I'm Danielle Davis.
I'm Shannon Kessler.
We are your girlfriend's guide to Formula One racing, and we're back after Vegas.
Vegas. Although I wasn't there, I feel like I have the Vegas hangover everybody keeps talking about because it was a long night. Or it felt like a very long race. I felt like they were in Vegas for
forever.
For a long time. Yeah.
They were in Vegas forever. And I have beef with the Vegas track. It has nothing to do about like I think that everything surrounding the Vegas GP seems great. Like all the activations, all the events, all the things they're doing, all of that seems great. 10 out of 10. Would love to get invited. Call us, deal. But when I watch that race on TV, it feels like they're racing in a jail yard. I think it looks like a prison. You can't see any of the fans.
Yeah.
Like, I know that they're there, but it's one of those tracks where like you cannot see any fans and it doesn't feel like there's any connection with the fans. Like in Singapore, it's at night, but you can like see the fan things around it.
Yeah.
What's the other one at night? There's one of the like Middle Eastern races.
Well, Abu Dhabi is at night.
You can see the crowds. Like you can see it. Whenever they cut to the crowds in Vegas, it's just like you can't see any of the crowds. It's like all pitch black. And when they're racing, it looks like they're racing in a prison yard. And I stand by what I said. I said what I said. It just doesn't like it is so visually unappealing to me.
I agree with you on everything you just said. I didn't like visually get the jail yard until you said that, but it does look like very like high fence.
Yeah.
With, like, the barbed wire or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was saying the same thing. I'm like, I don't love that I can't see the fans. Like, I mean, I know they're there. Like we know they were like sold out crowd. I'm like, where's the sold out crowd? I don't see any of the people because it is dark. There is no like lights on the fans, which is kind of surprising given at all the lights that are in Vegas that they wouldn't just like do a couple lights in the bleachers.
We couldn't get some like uplighting in the fan areas.
Like just light the bottom of the bleachers so you could do like
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I can't hear you.
Okay, what about now?
No, I can't.
Yay! Okay.
God, what was it?
I got excited and I knocked my wire out of my microphone again. I need to just do the podcast like this, like hands up, hands where I can see him, Shannon. Stop touching the mic. I get so excited.
Okay.
Okay, like I was saying, I do think that they could do like some more stuff like in the stands with like lighting up the the stands just so you can see it and you can feel connected to it because you're right, like there is very little connection of track and fan engagement, and because it is so narrow, like it does kind of feel weird, like it's almost like you're in the sim with the driver, and I don't feel like that on any other track.
No, it's like it's much tighter quarters, which makes sense because it's on obviously the Las Vegas Strip and it's confined by the road and the hotels and the casinos, blah blah blah. But the other night races have like some more divide, like there's just a little bit more expanse beyond just the confines of the race. And I just think I think that when you see the pictures from like people who are attending, it looks really cool. But there's no sort of like fan connection when viewing it. And frankly, it looks like a prison yard. And so that's all I have to say about the Vegas. It's just not on my like bucket list of ones to attend from a visual standpoint.
I see. I see that. I don't really even think that the track itself, because it's a short track and it's a short race. There's only 50 laps, and it's a fast one-ish.
I like the straight. I like how I don't dislike the shape of the track, like the actual track itself. It's more of just like the setup.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. It's a fair comment.
No, I think it felt like a prison for some of the drivers this weekend.
I think so too. There was a lot going on this race. Ooh,
Like, maybe they were imprisoned by their own choices and
maybe.
experiences this weekend because it was there was drama.
It was yeah, there was drama this weekend.
Drama in
Um,
Vegas.
yeah. I think even, like, I don't know, we were watching, I guess
I
it
also have a
was
beef with the time it starts. Don't even get me started on
yeah, you know your girl is like a 9 PM sleep queen. So Thursday night, we were watching, I guess it was practice, and, like, it was here in Kentucky, like, it snowed on Thursday. I'm like, "Does this feel weird to you?" I was talking to my husband, it's like, "It's so weird." There's, like, snow outside, we're watching F1 on a Thursday night, like, none of it felt
makes
like
sense.
this is how we're
Yeah.
supposed to be doing this, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't like it." I don't like it here.
I've also reached the part of the season where I'm kind of done
Yeah,
with
same,
it.
same.
Like, this race comes right at the point of the low point of, "I'm done with this," and then the last 2, I'm like, "Oh, it's fun," and then
Yeah,
it's done.
and then it's done.
Yeah, I just it brought me little to no joy. And you know
Well,
who else it didn't bring very much joy to? Sweet, sweet Charles Leclerc.
it did not, but it did bring Charles Leclerc probably some of the best radio we've gotten from him,
I loved it.
from ever, like, from the beginning of time. I don't know, it was so good and so
Aggressive, and I needed that.
yeah, like, spicy Charles, and I was like,
And everyone said he sounds like a crybaby, but, like, he has never really been a cry I mean, he's, cried into his piano.
yeah,
He's been a loyal soldier. No one
he
can
has,
say that Charles Leclerc has not, like, taken the team orders, that he has not been for the good of the
of the team.
Scuderia.
Yeah, I will co-sign that 1,000%. I also think it's important to state that he needs the grittiness and, like, that, like I
He
mean,
needs
I
to go
love
back
him, I
to
think he's a
himself.
good boy and he does all that stuff, but I need for him to find the gear that's like, "Fuck the
Fuck
bullshit,"
you. Yeah, and that's what he
and
sounds.
get it done, because, like, before Lewis started winning, before Seb started winning, they were assholes, like, anybody in the sport who's watched it for years were like, "These 2 were dicks," like, up and like, they got what they wanted, and once they started winning, they mellowed out. Same thing with Max. He was a royal pain in the ass until he
Right.
started winning, and now he's winning. Everyone not everyone loves him, but, like, he's more palatable, it's like,
Yeah,
okay.
he has softened.
But
His
he
edges have
I
softened.
have yeah, he's, softened a little, but, like, Charles, I'm not the one writing the script, but if I'm looking back at history, you're gonna need to put on your dick pants, and you're gonna need to start being a dick to these people.
Elbows
Elbows
out,
out. You're
elbows
doing what
out.
you wanna do. Tell that Scuderia your strategy and get it done, my friend.
No, I'm here for it. I'm here for him to be like a dick. I'm here for him to put his foot down and be like, "All right, y'all wanna fuck around? It's time to find out. Like, let's
Right.
go.
Enough
Let's
is
go."
enough. Yeah.
'Cause he said, "It's no more Monsieur Nice Charles."
Also gonna need to state that I would like him to do that starting in the 2026 season.
Oh, not next year.
Just to be clear, I don't want that to happen when Lewis is his teammate. Just so we're clear.
There was a lot of petty, like, social media things from 2 of my favorite social media stars, and also, did you see after the race that Charles did, like, a whole, like, 10 however many so many photo carousel, and he did not include anything of Carlos, but he did include a picture of him and Lewis Hamilton talking
I
in their wide leg
did
pants,
not. Oh god.
in their wide leg jeans. And I said, "Oof, oof."
Mm.
And you know who else was doing some solid, just, like, lightly petty with humor work this weekend? VB.
Oh, it wasn't light, and it was thick.
The
He's
what's
laying it on real thick.
the What's Next campaign, get me the merch.
I mean,
I'll buy
right.
whatever. I don't care. This man is truly living the life that I wish I was living.
Yes.
Just, like, rich, maybe a little bit bothered, but rich enough to be petty in his bothersomeness or
Mhm.
whatever, like, he is everything I wanna be. He's traveling the world, he's living life, he's drinking beers, he's eating tacos, he's having fun, staying fit, and
Right.
giving no fucks.
No fucks. and just he's like, "Eh, what's next? That? I don't know. You wanna go jump out of a plane? Sure.
Sure.
Why not?" Like, okay.
Did you see the charitable thing where he said it goes to people who
Found
are
himself.
dealing with sudden job loss? I This man is a king that we do not
Mhm.
deserve
We
in this
don't. We
world,
don't. We do not deserve him.
and we're gonna miss him next year. We're gonna miss him in the Friday posts. We're gonna miss him anytime you open your social media apps. I'm gonna miss him on the grid. And he's too talented, honestly, to be without a space, but I know that he's
Yeah.
so talented that he'll find space somewhere else.
I haven't looked to see if this is, like, true or not, but, like, I have heard or I've heard
Yeah,
I've seen that he's, like, being the, he's
consider
gonna be the Mercedes reserve driver. So,
I mean, I hate that.
you know, it's at least it's in the seat it's a seat. He's in the program, it's not like he's just like,
I kinda
"You're
want
outta
him to
here."
just say
No.
goodbye and then just go and do crazy I mean, the man he's cycling, he did the Ironman in the pool, in
Yeah.
the backyard, he did, like, the backyard Ironman.
Oh my
I
god.
wanna see more of that. Get a
Yeah.
documentary, follow him
Yeah,
around
ugh,
for a year.
it would be amazing. Like, he honestly him and Gunther should just go off and, like, have their own little show every
I'm done
weekend.
with Gunther,
You're
but
done with
Valtteri,
Gunther?
I'm not.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm done with
oh,
Gunther. I think Gunther got a little too taken with himself.
oh, wow. Did not think you were gonna say that.
Some of it takes not
Mm.
related to the race at all, but okay,
Okay,
back to the race.
back to the race, back to the race. Um, I'm trying to think. I
I mean,
watched
qualifying, do you have thoughts about Lewis Hamilton's qualifying?
oh, God,
You're in your Lewis Hamilton shirt. I feel like we should
I
talk
know.
a little bit about
We
Lewis. He
should.
had a great weekend, so
He had a great weekend,
open
like,
the floor for you.
being, fastest lap in the practices. I mean, that I was like, where the fuck has this Merc been all season? I
Yeah.
don't know. I hope it stays the last 3 races, but he did say it does perform well in colder weather, but we are going to the
Oh,
desert, so, all right, well, there goes that. So,
yeah.
bye-bye fast Merc. See you never. Um, but, yeah, the
That
whole
makes
Q
sense because they crushed at Silverstone.
yes, exactly. That's what he said. He's like, "The car hates heat." And I'm like, "Mm, mm, may maybe we should talk about that with the engineers." Like,
Yeah, yeah, feels like something we should have addressed
feels
considering, but
like we should be talking about this.
he picked up on that. Maybe we should have,
Yeah.
let the people in charge do something
It
about
he doesn't care. At this point, he's like, "I don't care. Y'all this is next year's problem.
which does not
I've
involve.
already given you all I'm gonna give you, and I'm not giving you any more. My trade
Yeah,
secrets, so
yeah.
figure it out." But yeah, yeah, I don't know what happened in Q3. Like, honestly, Lewis, like, what the fuck? I just oh, I really needed that to be like a fight between him and George at the
Yeah,
beginning of the race and not at the end of the race.
yeah. Well, if
That's
it had been
really
at the beginning of the race, he would have likely won.
yes, I would agree. I would have I honestly think George would have lost that race for himself, given that he like under pressure like that when someone's attacking him doesn't typically do well on the last
Well,
lap.
yeah, the last lap is not his place.
Yeah, so I was real sad, because I was like, man, this would have been the race to do it, but
He's pretty
alas,
taken with himself though too, though. George came out and said that, like, it's on because someone's really gonna be challenging Max next year, and I was like, "What are you
who
talking about?"
it ain't you, boo boo. Hate to breathe, want to break it to you, but it ain't you.
The light delusion from George. I said, "Okay,
Yeah,
you won one." He's won 2 races this season, but, like, in this moment, you just won 1 race. Calm
yeah,
down.
calm down.
Calm down. And
Ye
I also don't think Max is when he's looking at his dartboard of who is coming for him, I don't think that you're in the top row.
no, no. You've proven yourself to be an annoying, like, pebble in a
Like,
shoe
he's
that
just like,
it's very easy to forget. Like, it's not big enough to be an issue, like, you're not taking your shoe off to get rid of it, you're just like, "Oh, this is annoying," but it's
yeah.
done.
It's one of these when you're
Yeah,
eating, it's like a
mhm, like, "Ugh, stop it, stop it." Yeah, that's
and
exactly it.
no hate, no shade on George's win, congrats. Do you but
Congrats, yeah.
this one win to just going and saying, like, "I'm the one that's coming for Max next year," felt like a very large leap.
Yeah, agreed,
And
agreed.
Lando's like, "Excuse
"Excuse
me?"
me?
Like,
Sorry, sir, did you what'd you say?"
"Huh?
Yeah.
Are you in this?" Like, "What?"
What? What are you talking about? Yeah. Yeah,
And
didn't
Oscar
didn't
also
love
was
it.
like, "Huh?" Like, Charles is like, "Hey, I won 3 races this year." Like,
Right.
just hold on.
Right. I would love to see the side chats of the drivers when they see this kinda shit, and they're like, "Oh,
Oh,
this
George is doing it
motherfucker." Like,
again.
you're
Got a
like, "Did you
side
guys see this?" Yeah.
side chat. There's definitely the Max Lando, who's like the 3rd, maybe. I don't know, but there's definitely like the Max Lando chat on the side that's like this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing brings
And
drivers
Martin Garrix.
together like George Russell trying to, be cheeky, and you're like,
It's the Max Garrix, Lando, and, I don't know, or
Yes.
Martin Garrix, Max, and,
Yes.
Lando chat.
Lando, yeah, 1,000%.
And you know that Martin is like, "What's this guy think?" And they're
Yeah,
like,
like
"Oh," they just send the eye roll emoji, like,
mhm. I
uh,
don't know if you saw, but I posted there's a video of George, like, he hit the tee after he won, and then he jumped off the car, but he landed on the scale that Carlos was getting ready to walk on and, like, kinda fell into the guy who was, like,
no,
holding the
I didn't
scale. Oh, it's great. It's, like, classic George trying to, like, have a moment, and then he, flubbed it up, and it's like, yeah, you're the threat, George.
George just gives me big, like 10 or 11-year-old boy energy.
Yes,
Like he's trying to do too much, and then it all kinda just
yeah,
doesn't add up correctly.
correct.
But congrats to George Russell, 'cause,
Yeah,
he did.
congrats. Because 'Cause we're gonna remember that you won, but we're also
But
gonna
we're not.
remember that this was, Max's 4th world title, like
Also, that's peak George Russell to win a race and it actually just be Max's championship. It's it's too good.
it's kind of like I I don't hate it, you know what I mean? Because you know how I feel about George, and then,
Yeah.
I don't love Max, but I'm like, "Well, if there's one person that can steal George's thunder, this is how you do it. Well
Also,
done."
it was kind of bullshit that all 3 of the drivers from the podium have to squeeze into the one car, and Max is like, "Oh, this one's for
For
me."
me, thanks, appreciate it. Like, I giggled
He's like, "I
so
came
hard.
in 5th place." He came in 5th, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'll take this
I'll
one."
take this one. This is the extra. Thanks. You guys are the best. He's like, "What's this button do?
And he's
What's
just,
this?"
like, fully, like, just man legs apart, like,
Yep.
easily sitting, and George is in the middle in the bitch seat, and he just won the race, and Lewis is like, "I don't wanna be in this car," and Carlos is, like,
It's like,
arms tucked into his sides.
oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I can't imagine Lewis getting into that car being like,
Ugh, these
"Man, I
guys.
hate these guys. Like,
Well,
get me
Carlos
out of
and him
this
gotta have
with."
a weird dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, "Well, I'm taking Carlos's seat at Ferrari, and this guy over
This guy
here is,
over
like, not
here.
talking to me right now, so how long is this ride, do
He's
you
like, "Can
think?"
we roll the window down?" You know that Lewis would have rather ridden with Max.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
1,000%.
Yes.
Switch the engineer that went with Max and Lewis, because
Yeah.
Lewis would have much rather just sat in comfortable silence with Max.
Exactly. Or just you like, "Hey, can I ride it up front with the driver? Is
Yeah,
that cool?" Like, I
true.
don't wanna be back here. It
It
was
kinda
so
seemed like he was
uncomfy. Oh
trying
my
to
god.
get into the front seat when he was, like, going for the door, but
Yeah.
okay, but the actual
Yeah.
race.
Yeah, sorry.
There's
The
just
actual
so much silly, petty shenanigans outside of the actual confines of the prison yard.
yeah. The grid rumble of the prison break. Yeah.
Franco, yo,
Yikes.
had some times. Man,
Yeah.
they
The
gotta
poor
stop
Williams.
trashing the Williams.
They just don't have the budget. I mean, honestly, if there's like a GoFundMe or they're gonna have like a really solid bake sale at the end of this season, I don't know. They gotta do something because between Alex and all of his teammates, they're like, "We don't have another
No,
anything to put on the car." I don't get like, you crash this wing, great. You know what's gonna happen? Duct tape. You gonna
yeah,
have to ride with duct tape
when
for
they
the
cut
rest of
to
the year. Like, that's it. Like, we ain't got no more money, no more parts. Stop.
when they cut to the garage whenever there's an accident, I feel immense
Yes.
just pain, anxiety for those engineers, all the mechanics,
Oh
all
my
of them
god.
just looking at it being like, "Oh, we gotta fucking fix this."
And you know what they're all thinking? Like, we don't get paid enough for this.
No,
We don't get paid
we have
enough
to
for this.
rebuild this thing in 3 hours,
Yeah.
and
And
they
some Yahoo is essentially just gonna put it in the wall again, like,
he just crashed at 50 Gs, and we have to put this thing back together again. It's a
mm,
real Humpty Dumpty over
it
there.
it it's bleak at Williams. I mean, nobody is counting down the season to be over faster than the entire team. Like,
No,
uh
when they cut to those guys looking at the screen and seeing it, you can just see their souls leave their body.
Yes.
They just all just leach out. I don't feel really bad for anyone that's, like, working on F1 because it seems like a dream career and all this stuff, and they're
Yeah,
living their truth, and it seems really cool. But the Williams team, the guys in the garage at Williams, I'd like to buy them all a beer.
same.
1
Same.
round to the Williams.
You're like, "So sorry."
Can Max send, like, the Heineken
Yeah.
silver,
Just send it over. Yeah.
one of those, like, beer buses over there for them? A beer cart, please.
Yes. Well, and speaking of people that didn't have parts, like, I find it funny that Red Bull didn't have another wing to put on the car. They're like, "Oh god, this one's gonna be terrible." But they did seem to pack the Max for time,
Oh, yeah.
like that
Are they
new logoed merch that
fine?
just happened to show up. I'm like, "Oh, that made the trip." But the extra parts for your car, you're like, "Well, we
I
don't have
think
any
the budgets between Max and Checo's cars are different.
Mhm. Yeah.
And also, Checo is bad right now.
Checo is so
He's
bad.
not so very good at driving. He's so bad.
No.
He didn't make it out of Q1 again. Like, this is insane. And he's gonna lose the constructor. He has lost the constructors for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Max is like, "I can only do so much. I'm getting maximum points.
He's
I'm
like,
doing the most I can."
I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
How about the shade too when he said the thing about, like, you said I could only win in the fastest car, but look at me now, like,
Yeah. I
which
was like,
honestly,
he's got a
respect,
point. He's got a point.
respect.
Yeah.
But and round of applause to
He
Max.
did say if he was in the McLaren, he would have won much earlier in the season,
Yeah,
and I
and I agree with that.
agree with that. You know, I
And
do.
I agree with that. Yeah, the Checo just dead weight that he's an anchor to their team, truly, like dragging them down the constructors.
Yeah.
It's it's no good.
No, it's not. And, I don't like ever to agree with Helmet, but I feel like Helmet's seen this coming, like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know, like a year ago, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Nobody was listening to me when I was spouting off." It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean
"No,
I mean,
racist grandpa, we don't listen to you."
they're
But
firmly in 3rd place, not even, like, close. They're firmly in 3rd place behind McLaren and Ferrari. 608, 584, 555. I mean, I guess maybe it's kinda close, 19 points, but or no, it's more than that, 29
oh,
points,
I
but,
was like, That's doable.
uh,
That's like one race, really, mm.
but it's no, but not if Ferrari and
Yeah,
McLaren.
that's true. If they're putting double points
Yeah, they're
into
putting
the
double
constructors.
points.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
and
keep
Max
this.
is not winning. Like, if he's winning, that's fine. If he's taking P1, then, he's getting maximum points, but if he's farther down.
Yeah. So, okay, let's we gotta get through Vegas, and then because I have so many things I wanna talk about for upcoming. Um, what else happened in this race? Let's see. Oh, Yuki running over the sign
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
in
He
pit
is
row.
also done with this season. He's like, "I don't wanna do this anymore."
He is going to light Red Bull on fire if he does not get that second seat.
Oh,
He's like,
100%.
"How many other people do I need to destroy
And he
in
had a
order
great
to prove
weekend.
to you that I deserve this second seat?" And he's not wrong. He's not
No,
wrong.
he had a great weekend.
He had a great weekend.
Also, Alpine, like, where have you been? I guess all this new money and, like, all the changes are really coming. They did make all those big swaps in the middle of the season, and it's clearly
Well, I
paying
kind of
off.
feel like the internet may have done this to Pierre, and I feel kind of bad because, like, he's the only driver that has not cost his team a single dollar yet in,
A
like,
steady king.
Steady King. And he's having a great season
Yeah.
now, but, like, him DNFing in this race, I was like, "Ooh, like, does that go against his record?" Or I mean, the car didn't he didn't, like, kill the car. The car like, the
Yeah.
engine just died. But, like, is that on him because it's his car or
No, I don't think that's on him.
okay.
And
I
he
just
was
don't want it to
having
ruin his record. I'm
and he
like,
was
"Well, I'm rooting for
having
you,
a
Peter,
great
come on."
race, like, the whole team was having a great,
Yeah. Yeah, they looked great. They very fast. And I love the pink livery. I love when they give us a pink car. It just
I
makes the
do too.
grid it just looks better.
I just think that they're doing too much with their liveries, they're
Well,
just
the Indiana Jones really set me
and then
over
they
the
did
edge with
another one
with that
too.
one.
They did some other one in Indiana Jones was Austin, and then they did
Mhm.
another one. They did some other
Did they
branded
do one in Mexico
yeah, I'm pretty sure,
or in
out
Brazil? Okay.
branded liveries. Let's look at this because
Okay. I don't remember.
I thought they did another, like, another branded one, like another movie one. Honestly, I can't believe with all the Wicked nonsense that's been in the world that we didn't
Oh,
get
yeah. Well, is it a Paramount film?
no, I don't know.
Okay, because I don't know if they could with the Paramount being, like, a title sponsor of
Oh,
F1. They might not have been able to.
probably not.
Mm.
I was just, was like, "Wow, I can't believe that we missed a chance for a green and pink car." They've legitimately put it on everything else.
Yeah, it would have been I
Alpine
mean,
would have done it.
Alpine and Steak really could have had a moment.
Oh my god, they could
They could have
have.
been best friends,
They could have been
like,
defying gravity.
defying gravity together, holding space for each other.
Oh, holding space is a whole other thing. I can't take that on this. I cannot.
I knew it was gonna be just enough, just enough.
Oh, the whole
Um,
space. I'll
yeah,
hold your one
yeah.
little
You know,
finger.
hold my finger.
Um, anyways, the race it was good, but it wasn't, like, terribly exciting.
No. Okay. This I was like
The start was great, though.
the start yeah,
The first 2 laps, wild,
yeah.
exciting, entertaining, and then
Thankful we didn't have any, like, crash outs in the first lap because that's always, like, the most, like, you can't
but
breathe
lots
until
of
that last lap.
jumping,
Yeah.
lots of moving and mixing and all the
Yeah.
way through from the start to to the back, from the front to the back.
Front to back was great, and then, who somebody was first after 10 laps to change their tires, and I was like, "Wow, that's it's kind of aggressive choice to" but again, the softs weren't working as w or I don't remember what they were on, but, like, it was too cold, they weren't doing their job. So I was like, "Okay, that's" we're gonna
Yep.
get it's gonna be interesting to see, like, what the pit direction we go in, knowing that this is a short track, short lap or short race, and it's cold outside. Like, this is, uncharted territory for some of these people. Um, but I did like seeing sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. You're talking
Oh,
about tires.
what'd you like seeing?
It's gone. I liked seeing the Mercedes do some things. That was great. I love seeing Lewis go from 10 to second. That was amazing.
I mean,
Oh,
Lewis
the
is never
Max of it
good.
all.
Yeah.
The Max, when he kept giving up his spots, he was like, wasn't fighting Charles to get around, was letting people go. I was like, he's still gonna win no matter what. So, like, I get this. And then I was like, "Wait a second. This is peak Max pettiness, and I'm here for it." He's like, "I just need to beat Lando by
Lando,
one spot."
he didn't
He was
care.
like, "I'm
He
gonna
did not
put
care.
the cherry on the top here, and I'm just gonna come in one spot ahead of Lando, let everybody else go ahead of me, and that's fine." But then I heard them say that Nelson Piquet won the world title in Las Vegas in, like, 1981. He also came in 5th place, and I
Oh,
was like,
really?
"Interesting."
Oh, do you think
So,
he's trying to
was
take
I
some
yeah, like, are you trying to, like, get on Nelson's goods? I mean, I'm sure he already is, but, like, is that
there's
something they
no
could
way
talk
he's
about
not
at the
gonna
dinner table, like, down the road, being like, "Remember
I
that
think
car?"
maybe Kelly said this would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm curious, was that in his thought process or
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him because he's a very I thoughtful's not the right word for it, but he's a
intentional?
yeah, intentional is the better word. Yeah, I think he is very intentional about things, and it
Yeah,
feels like if he knew that, then
he
or if
could make it
not even
happen.
that if he knew that, but if he thought that was important, that he would do it.
Okay.
Because I think if he thinks it's important, then he'll do everything in his power to make it happen.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think he didn't probably think it was that important for him to win the race, but, like, if that I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that I feel like intentional is the right way to say it. Like, I think that if he thought that would be, like, cool in his mind, then he definitely was going for that.
Yeah.
Who's to say, but
Yeah. Well, it was just it was an interesting, little tidbit that they threw in at the end. I was like, "Hmm, okay. I
I
see you,
like
Max."
that.
Yeah. I think it's kinda nice.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
sweet.
It was sweet.
Max.
Family Max is so nice.
And Max has been back about talking about how he doesn't wanna do this for the rest of his life, throwing, like, subtle shade to Fernando and,
Lewis.
Lewis being like, "I don't wanna be 40 years old racing cars."
Yeah. I was like,
Shots
"Dang."
fired, Max.
He's just keeping them coming. Keeps the gun on the hip. It's like, "Don't care. How'd that get you?"
Yeah, but that's the joy of him, he just
No,
doesn't
he
care.
doesn't care. He really doesn't care.
But yeah,
Like,
he said, "I don't wanna be doing this when I'm 40.
no.
No, thank you."
No, thanks.
He's
No,
like,
thanks.
I mean, truly, he doesn't need to do this for 1 more minute. He's rich enough to just sail into the sunset.
You have 4 titles at this point, like, you're like, "I don't care." Like, the records, I don't care, he's got
Yeah.
what he's got. Like, I agree with you, I just feel like he's like, "What's next?" He's gonna just be
Right.
asking
But
PB,
he's
"What's
like
next?"
should he get some Valtteri merch?
He should, Valtteri,
Truly,
you should just make Max
sign
your spokes guy.
yeah,
Like,
make Max the spokesperson of what's next.
"What's next?"
Oh my gosh, we really did put that together. But truly, what's next?
I don't know. Motorsport, I don't think who was I forget who sent it to us. It might have been producer Keith who was like somebody on X was like, Twitch star Max
Oh, yes, Sim
Verstappen
Racer.
yeah, wins his 4th world title. I'm like, "You're gonna
Yes,
lead with that? Okay."
prolific sim
He's got other
racer.
things, but other irons in the fire, he's
I
fine.
could see him starting like a full Sims racing. I'm sure there already is, so don't,
Yes.
but I'm sure there is already a sim racing league that's like, professional. But I could see someone like Max turning it into something that people care more about from a general perspective.
Yeah, like, kinda how, like, that whole, like, gaming thing in Japan this year was,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
so giant. Like, I could see Max being like, "I can do this.
Yeah.
Let me show you how we're gonna make this better."
Or like, I'm gonna make this fetch. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
make fetch happen with the sim racing community. And
Exactly.
honestly, who better to?
I can't think of anyone better.
Yeah.
I don't think it exists. That's it. That's
Um,
it.
so for this race, we can wrap it up
Okay.
because like I don't think there's like a lot of road racing for us to discuss or like wild
No.
strategery and like the cars were carring. The good
Yeah.
ones came out on top.
The McLarens were, there, but not fun. I'm like, "Oh, you 2, come on. I've been sitting on this hill for you all season."
I do think
And
they
then
can't
in
get
Las
over the
Vegas,
hump.
they're like, "Eh."
They can't get over the hump with get to greatness. They're so close. Now I say
Yes.
that they're winning the constructors right now, so I
Yeah.
say that from a place, but they don't feel it feels like they won the constructors because Red Bull lost it.
'Cause
Not because
Checo lost it for
yeah,
Red Bull.
like, it doesn't feel like something they won, it's just something
Correct.
that Red
Yeah.
Bull lost. You know
Y
when you're watching, like, a basketball
yes.
team and, like or a basketball game and someone's playing
Yeah.
not to lose? Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of just, like it's not the same kind of victory.
I
Um,
agree.
and I just feel like they haven't, like, claimed greatness. Like, they haven't really stood on 2 feet of, like, "We're the best."
Yeah. I co-sign that 1,000%. Like, it just you're like, "Well, you're the winner by default."
Yeah. And also, I feel like they had to have been pretty disappointed with the finish in Vegas, especially from their sponsors' perspective, because this is kind of one of their, you know,
Bigger yeah.
flagship sponsor activation things.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm sure they would have rather, finished a little bit farther ahead.
Yeah,
But
agreed. Yeah, I know.
but alas, I feel like Lando kinda gave up last week or 2 weeks ago too, kinda shrugged his shoulders and said, I can't beat Max."
Yeah. I agree. I think he was, like, in therapy one day, and he was like, "You know what? I just wanna finish the season.
It
I'm
also
just
is
gonna finish."
giving the, like, "I'm gonna tell you I'm not gonna win because" like, it's "I'm
Yeah,
quitting before I get fired" energy.
exactly. Yes, exactly.
But sh okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
Who's your P1 and driver of the day on this?
Okay, well, let's see. Driver of the day is obviously going to my boy
Sir Lewis Hamilton?
Lewis because he had an amazing drive in Vegas. Um, and if I could give an opposite of driver of the day, it's going to Toto Wolff, and I'll
Oh,
tell you why.
wow.
Yeah,
Turn on Toto.
turn. Because
Turn
when he
on Toto.
said Lewis has a shelf life and we were gonna get rid of him even if he was gonna like, we weren't
Wow.
gonna have him
That's
back.
also giving big, I quit before I'm fired energy.
Exactly that, and I was like, "You
Well, he has been
absolutely
kind of
nuts."
beating the drum about this, like, "Well, I kinda got caught, like, not knowing and blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
But, like, it's kinda your job to have, like, corporate spies and to kinda know what's up.
Well, also, I'm gonna call bullshit on your story, Toto, because you were blindsided, and if you're blindsided, but you already knew you weren't gonna have him back next season, why did you care?
Yeah.
Why did you were like, "No, no, no,
She's
I needed to break up with you." And you're
yeah.
like, "Did you? Okay,
No, I
Kristen
already dumped
Cavallari, like,
you.
whatever." Like,
I already dumped you. You
I already
can't break
dumped you
up with
first.
me.
And so, like, that was super annoying, and for him to be like, "Well, Lewis has a shelf life," and I'm like, "That's aggressive statement of a man who's given you 7 constructors titles,
Yeah,
okay? So, sit down,
yeah.
sit down."
Well,
I was very angry with that comment, and I could not have been more happy that Lewis was like, "Oh, okay, Imma come in 2nd place. Shelf life,
yeah.
whatever." Oh, I was angry, so angry. Um, my P1, hmm, you know, I'm going with Valtteri Bottas on my P1 for his iconic encapsulation of what's next, like,
Yeah, and also just his DGAF.
he just I don't care, and have the best time in Vegas doing,
He's
Valtteri
always
thing,
having the best time.
always having the best time. So
No
just like,
one is having more fun than Valtteri Bottas.
no, it doesn't exist. He is having the
And
most fun.
he's not doing shit for the gram either. I mean,
No.
they're posting it to the gram, which I'm happy to like bring me
Yes.
on along. I want to go everywhere. But he's not like trying to hit cool parties or like go to some
Mhm.
Instagrammable restaurant or any of this nonsense. No, no, he's eating the street tacos. He's like biking. He's
Yeah.
hitting the Grand Canyon because he said, Tiff, let's go fucking see the Grand Canyon.
Let's go
Yeah,
do it.
let's go. We're close. He's doing fun. Like he's on a yacht because he's just like, I can afford a yacht. So like, let's
Yeah.
go on it. He's not doing it necessarily for the grant. Like you can tell he's enjoying it. There's
Yes.
no, the man is full of joy and life and is truly what I would, that's what I want to be.
Aspire to be. Yeah, I agree. That's why he's getting my P1 today.
He gets P1 in my heart and
Yeah.
my body, soul. Like, truly, I look at his posts on social media and I'm like, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
he's doing like, this is what when they tell you, like, oh, you listen to all these like bullshit, like self-help things about like, no, no, Valtteri is just we follow on his social media and watch, and that's like how we're all supposed to be living. Also, he's wildly rich.
Yeah.
But
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 if you can aspire to be like one person, this is it.
that's the guy.
That's the
Just
guy. Yeah.
having fun, living life,
Yes.
DGAF.
Who is your P1 and driver of the day?
Well, my P1 in my heart, soul, mind, body, Valtteri forever,
Yes.
VB77. But my driver of the day goes to Sir Lewis for
Excellent.
a great race and like some, vindication because I feel like he's been kind of through it the last few races and he's kind of been
Yeah.
getting his I know he doesn't care, like he's been getting kind of his name dragged a little bit and just he's been kind of in the muck, not
Yeah.
him per se, but like his name. So I was happy for him to be like, just leave my name out of your mouth and let me go.
Right.
And I
You
was
just
actually
jumped in.
talking to Drew the other day about how the lift that when he Drew's my husband, the lift he gave to Ferrari stock. And I misspoke and said like 80 billion. And he's like, there's no way it's 80 billion. He's like, it's definitely millions. And I was like, no, no, it's billions.
Yeah, I
And
feel like
and it was not 80, but it was 10. $10 billion is the difference that this one man made in the stock, like the stock swelled.
yeah.
And that was the difference for one man. Like that is a big freaking deal. And he said, "Put some respect on my name, everyone in the garage. I'm
Right.
still Lewis motherfucking Hamilton."
It's like, if you've got a shelf life and you can still, with your shelf life, hit
With you're close to expiration date. You're close to your expiration date and you're still
10
moving the
billion.
market.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is insane.
So yeah, he gets my driver of the day. And just
Okay.
like a nice little, like, you get him, Lewis.
Yeah.
Go you. My P1 goes to Carlos Sainz for just like doing whatever the fuck he wants. Like
Yeah.
people might not expect that from me because I'm a Charles
I
Leclerc
was
follower.
I'm shocked as shit over here. I'm like, "Wow, okay."
But honestly, one, I'm glad that he kind of, did what he wanted to do because it kind of is going to push Charles. Like Charles needs that. Charles needs
Yes.
to go to the dark side. So it's more for his long-term strategy, and that's good. And also Carlos is the same. Like I'm sorry, like I don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
I got a month left.
Mhm.
I don't care.
Okay, so this was a question with the okay, if you
But
know
the say
going
it
in.
in Spanish thing was wild,
Oh
and I
my god,
cannot believe Charles said that out
hilarious. I was like,
loud.
"He doesn't understand. Say it in Spanish." I'm like,
He said, "Maybe you
"Have
should
you
say
tried
it in
speaking
Spanish."
it in Spanish?"
Ooh, that was spicy.
That was spicy. That was very spicy. But my question with this is, if they know going into this race, like, Max is gonna win today. So it's like, okay, Charles is ahead of Carlos in the points. What does it benefit the team to have Charles finish ahead of Carlos?
Because Charles has a better chance of coming in second in the Drivers' Championship.
But the drivers' championship does not give the constructors any money.
Yeah, but it matters to the team. I do believe that it matters to the team, and it matters deeply to Charles. And I think that I was talking with somebody in our DMs about this,
Okay.
and I think Charles believes that he had a chance of, I mean, I think he still does have a chance. I
Yeah.
haven't looked at the
Smell it.
standings as of like today. I still think he has maybe a chance, but I think that because finishing second in the drivers feels like it is very much something that Charles wants.
Okay.
I can I can sense that that's what he's gunning for, and he has a chance to do that. That is within his grasp. And
Okay.
so them not doing that, like, feels kind of, again, it's kinda similar to the, like, Lando Oscar thing earlier this season. Like,
Yeah.
you guys keep telling me I'm the guy, you're not gonna, but then when it comes down, when push comes to shove, am I the guy?
But
Like,
your
it doesn't
actions
feel,
don't show me that I'm the
yeah,
guy. Yeah.
exactly. So, like, you keep
Okay.
saying I'm the guy, but, like, it doesn't feel like I'm the guy.
Okay. Because that was my like, if Charles isn't gonna win the drivers' championship, like, why does it matter? I mean, obviously, they're gonna, like, second or third or fourth, really, they would have finished either way, third or fourth place, right?
Right.
So those points would have still gone to the constructors and nothing would have changed. So why would it have mattered, like, what driver got what? I could see if it was like, no, because I really want to be second in the
Yeah.
standings, but he's not. I mean, he's Lando's in second with 340. Charles is in third with
319, that's
319. So
29 points. That's
it's
a
tr it's close
Yeah,
enough.
and so if he won one of these next 2 races, he feasibly could.
Okay, okay. I mean, Carlos and Oscar are fighting it out for 4th and 5th. So, like, at that point too, I'm kinda like, yeah, I mean, it's the same race between, the McLarens and the Ferraris
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the driver standings.
but I think it matters more to Charles about this drivers' championship. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it feels like to me.
I mean, in all honesty, it's not like Carlos is gonna have a lot of opportunity next year to be on a podium.
No, I agree, and that's why I
You're
gave him
going to Williams where your dreams go to die, like.
that's why I gave him the
Yeah,
recognition today, because he's like, "I don't give a shit, like, this may be the last chance I have for a
yeah.
while, so I ride," like, and I have no hate, no shade on that. It's more of like, the internal Ferrari strategy, just like what we talked about with McLaren and Lando and
Mhm.
Oscar earlier this year. It's just someone needs to get their ducks in a row
Yeah.
internally and convey that to everyone. And what it seems like is that that was conveyed, And that Carlos said, I don't care, which, do you, because you got a month left here. Like, no one cares. But
Yeah.
for Charles, I think it mattered deeply. And I do think that being second, like, means a lot to him.
Okay. So do you think going forward, like these next 2 races are like for both, for Oscar and Lando and Carlos and Charles, are they just gonna have like racing orders like this is who we want to finish here, or are they going to be free to race?
I mean, if I was McLaren, I would say we have orders. Because again, I would want Lando to finish second.
Mhm. I mean, you can't have come this far and like
Now, Ferrari, I don't know. I mean, I think you could have whatever you want. And if Carlos says, I don't fucking care, then it doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Because what are you going to do? Fire him?
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I think for McLaren, it's a much bigger thing because they are,
Right.
saddling up again next year.
Ooh. This is fun. I'm just looking at this too. George Russell is in 6th place with 217 and Lewis Hamilton is in 7th place with 208.
Yeah, it's
Now,
close.
those two. How the fuck is Sergio in 8th place?
We forgot, but at the beginning of the
Oh, that's
season,
right. At the beginning of the season, he
they were
had.
quite good. Yeah, they had a bunch of like 1-2, 1-3. Things were happening. But I do think like if Charles won the next race and Lando finishes 6th, he would. I don't know the exact math, but could potentially like hopscotch him.
Okay. Well, we still have a very interesting fight for 6th, 7th, and 8th in the constructors because Haas has 50 points, Alpine has 49, and RB is at 46. So there's still like that's anybody's ball game until the end of the season.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's see it all.
That's crazy. The only team with no points is Sauber.
Ugh, bless them.
I know.
But you've never seen someone look so unbothered by being last.
Nope. You sure
Truly,
haven't.
truly, you've never seen someone so unbothered.
No.
And
That's
it brings me great joy. I know we just talked about this, but I am gonna click on one news and notes for us.
mhm.
Carlos Sainz claimed, quote, no one's happy at Ferrari amid Charles Leclerc's post-race tirade at the Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix. So we know what Charles said. I did my job of being nice, fucks me over all the fucking time, all the fucking time. Oh man, I loved it. Sainz, however, felt aggrieved having had to let Leclerc by ahead of the stops with the Spaniards delayed when also the pit crew not being ready for
Yes.
to
Oh
come
my
in.
god.
Absolute insanity. But he said, yeah, I think he grained the medium tires and I managed to get ahead before the pit stop on medium, Sainz explained post-race. Then I did grain my hards and he was coming quick behind me and me anticipating what was going to be a situation because Lewis was straight behind Charles at the time. And I was pretty sure the team was going to ask me to let Charles by because he was quicker at the time. As I was on grain tires, I asked the team 2 or 3 times to box me to get me out of the way and get me a new set of hards to make sure that I wasn't losing a lot of race time by having to let Charles by and then having to fight Lewis at the same time. For some reason, we didn't box, and I ended up having to let Charles by a lap later than was planned and losing a lot of race time. And by the time I was going to box, we didn't even box. So I guess he's not happy, but I'm also not happy with the way things were handled at the time. And yeah, I think no one's happy today in the team because we all expected a bit more. I'm on the podium, so at least I got that for the team. So,
Dang.
but I agree.
Ferrari just out here doing them all dirty.
Doing them all dirty. Like I think that was an old school Ferrari snafu.
Yes. Gosh.
So
I don't know.
I
Like
think
what's
that also that's why I gave Carlos he's just doing what he had to do, to get by. And I got love for the chili pepper. I just got more love for Charles.
I get it. That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this. We have a race this weekend.
Yeah, we have 3 in a row.
I didn't realize it was Bing Bang Boom. I thought there was a week off between Vegas and Qatar, but it is not.
No, it's Bing Bang Boom.
This is it. You guys, we are
next week and then the next one and then we're done.
And then we're done.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
That is crazy.
Also, do you think that before we, wrap things up, do you think one of the big question marks right now is whether Colapinto gets a spot next year?
Yes. I do. Here's what I also think. With these youngins that they bring in that test so well, and then everyone's so eager to put them in a car, it's like, listen, guys, everyone is gonna everybody debuts like your first race in F1 is beautiful, it's great, it's like whatever, and then they get put in this box.
Yeah.
Somebody puts the lid on it and says, "He's a great driver, ready to go." And it's like, he had a great drive. There's a difference between having a great drive and being ready to have a great season.
Liam Lawson.
Exactly. We've seen it time and time again. I'm like, we can't be the only ones that see this problem,
Logan
right? Like,
Sargent. I mean, not really. Logan Sargent sucked from the start.
but it's like, it. I just feel like they're putting a lot of weight on these kids for like one or two really good races, and then you're like, oh, he's the next, Max Verstappen, and it's like, simmer down,
Okay, calm down.
simmer down.
Like, Max is a once in a generation talent. So is
Yeah.
Lewis. I mean, him and Fernando probably together, but
Right, and who knows? I mean, maybe this with this new crop, we're getting Ollie, and we've got Franco, and we've got Kimi Antonelli. So
yeah,
we might have the next one, within the mix of any of these guys. But like, you got to give them a minute to simmer in the pot. Like, they just got put on the stove. Give them a second. Give them a second.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. But I love Franco. I mean, honestly, this kid has got a spot with me already. He is funny.
yeah, he's
Um,
clever.
he is so clever, and he will chop you at the knees with the sarcastic, Spanish comeback, and I'm like,
He's still gotta, like, master, English for the masses.
yeah,
That's okay. It's
it's
okay.
okay. It's okay. But he's great. I really like him a lot, and I hope that he has a long future.
I have
Speak
no doubt he will. I mean,
Mhm.
someone's gotta speaking of chopping at the knees, I think it's time that someone has to chop Sergio at the knees.
We're chopping Checo.
What's happened to
Checo chop.
there's gotta I mean, Carlos Slim can give his money to somebody else, but
That was the next question, because we kinda talked about this in a text of, like, is Carlos Slim ready to pull his money from Checo and put it into another Latin American driver, which would be Franco Colapinto, and
right.
it would be a seamless. I don't know if it would be a seamless
I don't know
transition
if he's
because
seamless because, like, Checo
Mexico
is
is its own, entity,
Checo is
so
Mexican, and it's a
yes.
totally different thing. Like, all of
Yeah,
those South American countries are not as one.
true, but I do think that there's a lot of Latin American
Yeah,
connections
100%.
with
And it's
Slim, but
yeah, yeah, definitely. But Checo being
Mexican.
Mexican
Yeah.
makes a huge difference.
Well, and Papa Perez out here saying some real crazy shit last week that I'm like,
Nobody
"Did
pops off more than a F1 dad.
true." But you know who likes to keep it quiet and won't say anything?
Who?
Anthony Hamilton. He's like,
Yeah, but he's not like no,
"He ain't saying shit."
I'm talking about, like, more of the I mean, I don't obviously Checo's dad doesn't
Yeah,
like racing, but he's more, like, in the racing space.
yeah.
Anthony's more of just, like, a dad. The other ones are more, like, business oriented.
Yeah. But I do agree because Yas out there saying some crazy things. Yas, though, threw Max under the bus saying that Max stayed up until 10:30 AM on Sunday morning, had just enough time to pack his bags, hopped on a plane, and flew to Amsterdam. He's like, "Do
Let
you think
Max
he's gonna be fine?" And I was
he
like,
he's gonna be fine. I
I think
do.
they were like,
I
"He's gonna
think
be
he's
cranky." I'm
I
like,
think he's gonna be quite fine, though.
"Yeah,
I think he should if he wants to party in Vegas till 10:30, I think he should do whatever he wants because they made this special merch for him. It says four-time world champion. Like,
yeah."
whatever, he does what he wants.
Do you think they're gonna make him race, like, race, though? Do they care about the constructors at this point? Because they're not getting points from Checo, so, like, it's still on Max's shoulder to
I
get
think that they do.
to
But I
get
think
Red
Max
Bull
is
to
kinda
the
like,
end of the
"I'm
line.
gonna come and I'm gonna race." It's not,
Yeah.
like, that important to me.
Well, and that's what I'm like, is it important because he wants it for his team, or is he just done because he's already gotten what he's gonna get out of the season?
I mean, I dare I think it's the latter. But I mean, I don't think he's like fully abandoning the team. I just think he's kind of like, what more can I do?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fair.
I also think he's like, I'll be fine. I can sim race until like 3 in the morning and show up and win a race.
We've seen you do
What?
that
Like
before
it's
too.
hard.
Yeah.
He's- if for
Mhm.
anybody else, I'd be like, "Oh, that's not feasible," but
Right.
he's Max.
He's built different.
Yeah, it's just a different thing, and if he cares about it, then like I said earlier, I think if he cares to do it,
It's
then
gonna happen.
it'll happen.
Yeah. That's true.
If he is kinda blasé about it, if he's kinda like, "Meh,
Yeah.
I don't care," then that's what you're gonna get.
Um, did you see that we're getting the Cadillac
Oh,
GM?
yes, and you know what? Sweet Mario Andretti, dreams are a wish your heart makes, and he was like, "I will get in there. I
I
will.
will.
You will not stop me."
Let me ask you this. Do you think with the recent step down of the F1, the Liberty Media guy,
Yeah. Did you think he
the
was on, like, the Diddy list?
yeah, like, there's, like, 3 big players, like the
Yeah,
Sky
but the
Sports
Liberty
guy,
Media guy said he didn't step down, right? Or no, not it wasn't him, it was
the Stefo,
yeah, it was Stefano
stepping
Don
down.
yeah.
Yeah, but there was another guy in Formula 1 that did
Yeah.
step down. My question is, did this have anything to do with Mario coming into this sport? Was he like,
Oh,
"Listen."
see, like, I got the tapes.
Uh-huh. Is it like
Why
you
would it
go like, if these were the 3 main people blocking Andretti getting into F1, those 3 just somehow decide before the season even ends that they're gonna step down, and then all of a sudden we get, Mario's back in the mix.
Okay, but I think it's crazy too that they let GM in and then they added Mario to the board.
But did they add it or did they just announce it?
No, I think it was after. I mean, obviously, it was probably in the works,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing it was not on their formal application because we would have known because we would have been like, "Mario's back, guys. He keeps knocking on the door, trying to come in, and, like, they keep slamming in his face."
Right.
So he's like, "No, no, I'm coming in through the back."
But
With
did we ever get the FBI investigation on, like, because it went to the Supreme or not Supreme Court, it went to court, right? Like, it had,
oh,
like,
I
a
don't know.
investigation behind it. I mean, there was, like, a whole US investigation on this. So, I'm just, like, it
I just feel like they announced all the Cadillac GM stuff, like, what day are we on? Today's Tuesday when we're saying this, right? It's Tuesday.
yeah, it's Tuesday.
So I feel like all this news came out on Monday that they were joining, and then all the Mario Andretti stuff came out today because he was like, "Ha guys, I'm back."
Yeah, I know. This smells like antitrust to me, and I'm gonna have to dig a little deeper. So, I'm just like,
Oh,
"What's going
it
on?"
just says to me that Mario was never gonna let this dream
Oh,
die.
no, he was never gonna let it go, but I just find the timing to be
And I
very suspicious, and now I'm gonna be,
yeah,
like, digging a little,
I was
like,
more like,
Murder, She Wrote.
have they gone to a Diddy party?
I mean,
Um, no, I was thinking that it was more like they were never gonna let him in if it was like
Andretti Racing or
it was
whatever,
the
yeah,
Andretti thing, and then he was like, "Oh, fuck you all," and then he, like, figured out how to get around it.
yeah.
He was like, "You will not stop me.
This will be not the last you see of me.
No, this aggression will not stand. I'm coming in." And I just think he's like, "Got him," he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm here, guys." They're like, "God, we keep trying to, like." It's like, in a high school movie where, like, annoying kid is always trying to come
Yeah.
over, and they're like, "No, don't invite him over," and he's
And
like, "No,
now he's
come to
here,
the
yeah.
party."
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, manifest it. Manifest it, and it can come true. Also, Fernando's manifesting, like, still racing in 2026. I'm like, "Fernando, why? Don't you have a
Right.
family and children? Like, what are you running
Live
from?"
love, let it go.
Like, I don't know. It just f you I mean, you've done everything. You've reached the
Yes,
mountaintop.
you have done
You've
everything.
nothing left to prove.
And that's the thing, like, you're not in a world championship contention car.
No,
Like,
I mean, keep trying, but it's not happening, and
I
as long as Lance Stroll is there, it's never gonna
exactly, and Lawrence can build you a pipe dream full of money, and it's still gonna let you down if the end result is another world championship title.
well, they're just the longevity on that
Right.
team doesn't seem there. Like, it feels
No.
like they can get it together for a quick stint. They can string together, a month or 2, and then they can't maintain it for some reason.
I feel like everything starts at the top.
Well, yeah, I think also Lawrence feels really hyper focused on things for a while and is probably micromanaging, and then he goes on
Yeah.
vacation or his daughter gets married or,
Has a
is
baby and
grandpa
yeah.
and he loses focus and I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's oversimplifying it, obviously, but it does feel like he's quite the micromanager.
Yeah. I don't
You
know.
know, he's firing off emails, and they're like, "Oh god, he's at his desk again." You know,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he grinds so hard when he's there, and then when he's gone, they're all kinda like, "Oof," they take a big deep breath,
Yeah. And they're like,
and
"Ooh."
then it kinda tails off, and then he comes back in and just, like, grinds
Yeah.
all his gears again. I That seems like a terrible place to work. I mean,
I
it's
wouldn't
probably
wanna do it.
not,
No,
but
thank
it
you.
just doesn't feel like it's probably great for your mental health.
No. I mean, you see how depressed his son looks. I mean,
Oh, bless. That man does not wanna race a car.
no,
Let him
he
free.
doesn't. Just let him be a nepo baby on the yacht and just let him be.
Yeah, just let
Just
him
let him be.
be. Ugh,
Just let him be.
poor Lance.
I know.
But he has that sweet dog, you know, and it always comes back to the puppy.
It's you that is the only saving grace for Lance Stroll
I
is his
know, it
dog.
does. Always comes back to the puppy for me. Go snuggle your puppy, Lance. It'll be okay.
Oh my god,
You're
I
gonna
love
have
it.
a little sweet like, or a little niece soon. Is it
Yeah.
niece, nephew? Whatever. Go snuggle a puppy and a baby.
Yeah, the baby's born.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Scotty's out there, taking photos on the mountain with the baby. It's cute.
Yeah,
Very
great.
cute.
Go, like, be an uncle
Yeah.
and be rich and find something else, like, go pursue that professional tennis
You know
career.
what? What's next, Lance?
Next,
What's next?
next.
This is the
Oh,
perfect out for all of them. They
and
just
honestly, they should call up what's our Russian guy who's out there fighting in the streets with everybody? Uh, I'm
oh
having a
god.
total brain break on his name. I can
The
see his
blonde kid.
bright blonde hair, like, in the breeze. What's next?
Mazepin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I M was in my brain, I couldn't get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
what's
I was like, "Who is this?"
next?
Yeah. Nikita, that's it. It was Nikita
Nikita,
Mazepin.
but Nikita
Yeah.
can't be in the campaign because he could really bring Valtteri
Yeah,
down.
I know.
That bad
We don't
energy.
need oligarch money. We're
No.
good. Yeah.
Anyways, so well,
Oh,
that was
great.
Vegas. You know, we got a race next week.
I know,
We
Qatar,
have
baby. What do you think's gonna happen? Any predictions? Any wild thoughts?
fun. Okay, so as we wrap this one up, we got Qatar next week.
Yes.
Is it Qatar or Qatar?
I call it Qatar.
Let's figure
I
out
don't say Qatar, but then don't take pronunciation from me. I am not the one saying things on this podcast the correct way.
I feel like it is Qatar.
Okay.
I feel like people said like it's both, but
This is the one
I
that has that really cool, like, big egg-shaped building, right? With, like, the point kinda thing.
yeah.
I love this track.
English speakers, here's how to pronounce.
You're gonna do the little did you?
Yeah, but it's saying I don't know. This is too long of an article, so if we
Oh, okay.
mispronounced it, RB, we're just dumb Americans. Richard Mile over here.
Oh, just Richard Miling it. It's fine.
Um, I'm excited, and I think Charles could win this one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Who do you
Okay.
think's gonna win?
Right.
I think we get a Charles Lewis Max. I think we throw it old school, not old,
Old
like
school? Well, 2021?
yeah, like 2021,
Yeah.
2022.
I love that, actually.
Old school, new school of old school.
I think okay, I'm gonna go with your Ferrari. I'm gonna go Charles. I'm gonna go Lewis. I'm gonna go Carlos.
No way. Oh, I in my mind, when you said C, I was thinking Checo, but Carlos is
Oh, I was like,
I was like, Checo's never making it on there, but you said Carlos, not
so
Checo. In my
okay.
mind, I just took what you said, my brain changed it,
And
and
you're like, I hear Checo.
yeah, and I heard Checo and not Carlos.
Yeah.
No, I could see that,
I
but
can see a Ferrari
I think
sandwich there.
Max maybe hits another podium just to be like, "Hey, I'm still maxing."
Well, he's gonna have to hit the podium in order to get the constructor points. So
He's
I'm
gonna be
I'm
max
not counting him out. I'm just counting out there being some
I think he's maxing,
anti.
relaxing on the podium.
I think we got elbows out this race.
I think maybe we have, uh, a Carlos, maybe an accidente, maybe.
Un accidente.
Mhm. We
Mm.
haven't had a lot of red flags this year.
No, we haven't. Although
Not like
Brazil
accidente, but
out there giving us all the red flags we didn't get all season. They're
yeah,
like all in one. Here you go. Um,
not an accident where, like, he's
Somebody
seriously
gets
injured.
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
No,
a
no.
red flagger,
Yeah, just a red
like a
flag.
barrier break.
Yeah, yeah, like where they gotta rebuild some stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
How do
I
you
like
think
that.
George finishes, your arch nemesis slash love?
5th place. Fifth
He's
place.
coming for Max, though.
It's a hot track. You know, that Merc doesn't like the heat, but Lewis is gonna do some Lewis things in that thing, and he's
I
gonna
think
figure it
Lewis
out.
should Lewis it up, like, just
Yeah.
to remind everybody going into the end. If it's not this
Yes.
race, maybe it's the last race, but I
Yes.
feel like he does some Lewis things.
Yep. Because Lewis can be doing those things.
Yeah.
He has
Okay,
special
well,
powers.
I love that that's where our head's at
Mhm.
and that we're kind of aligned on this.
I know. This is exciting.
You know what else we're aligned on? Is that we think everyone should follow us on social media
'Cause we're so funny on the
when we
gram.
when we show up.
When we show up, yeah, it's true.
When we show up, 'cause you should be following us at F1 Push Push on Instagram and TikTok. Shannon's over
Mhm.
there making prolific content all the time.
Prolific.
Fridays are my favorite day. You guys know it. It's
I
here.
know, they're my favorite. Everyone's favorite. Are you kidding
We're
me?
getting to the end of the season, and soon our Fridays will be filled with so much holiday content too. But
Also, can I just say, Danielle, you have inspired a host of other creators out there doing what you do best and what you started. Are those Friday posts. I mean, I have
I mean,
seen
I copied obviously from the Sunday Scaries, but I wasn't a full copycat. I didn't put Slam's laptop shut or whatever because I'm
nope.
not.
You took your own spin on it. But
Mhm.
I've seen other people use the font and use the placement and use the type of photos, and I'm like, "Wow. Wow.
Well,
Okay." So,
they probably have
hats
more
off to you
followers
for
than our
inspiring the masses to create content that feels like the push push content.
well, it would be nice if people would recognize, put some respect, but it's all right because we're out here grinding every week. And I've also incorporated video too. I mean, come on, guys, I'm
Yeah,
out here
it's so
trying.
good. It's so good.
You can also watch us now. I'm coming live from my daughter's bedroom since this is a holiday edition. It feels like I'm like home for the holidays.
I know, right?
And like in a childhood bedroom. It's nuts. It's my daughter's. But you can watch all these episodes now thanks to our partnership with the State of State of Louisville. So you can watch those at youtube.com/State of Louisville. And yeah, you should be watching us. You should be subscribing. You should also be rating and reviewing because that would make us happier than a Charles Lewis 1-2 podium in Qatar. And until next time, push, push.